Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about toxic relationships, and that includes toxic friendships and stuff, because either or they're both like a relationship with somebody else, but I just wanted to clear that up a little bit so it's not just like dating wise, it's also friend wise. So the reason why I want to talk about this is because I feel like it's a huge thing, and I feel like it's not really talked about a lot. Like, it is, but it's not really. I don't know how to explain that a lot, but I don't know. And I wanted to start off my YouTube channel. I've done a few videos, obviously, but I wanted to put something out there that was like my piece of advice and a story time about me personally. So I felt like I could tie that all in together with this topic. I have like a lot of things I could do, but this has been on my mind a lot lately, and I've wanted to share it with you. So yeah. I'll start by talking about toxic relationships. And so like a toxic relationship is something like, say you're with someone and they're having behaviors where it's affecting the other person a lot in like a negative way, and they're constantly doing it, and it's not like coming from a good place, and it's even sometimes it's accidental, but usually it's intentional, and it's hurting the other person or it's harming the other person either physically or mentally or emotionally, either or, like it's harming them in some way. That does go for friendships too, but I'll get into that later. So the thing that I want to talk about is that that's not okay, and I feel like it's a huge thing, and I feel like a lot of, not only guys, girls do it too, like are taking advantage of each other's like weaknesses and vulnerabilities, and just doing things just to find an advantage to themselves or just to better themselves in some way, which I don't understand how that betters someone, but sometimes we do things that aren't necessarily going to do something good for somebody else, but it's going to do something good for us. Even if it's a negative thing, sometimes negative things make us feel good, which doesn't really make sense. It makes us feel good at first, and then like later on you're like, oh, it really sinks in. But I feel like that's a huge thing with toxic relationships, and sometimes it's not really like, oh, I'm intending to go do this to somebody, like I really want to hurt somebody. Sometimes like you just don't know that you're being toxic to somebody, but usually you are, and you know. And a lot of it comes from childhood trauma and stuff, and a lot of it comes from things you've gone through with like family members, or things you've gone through with old friends, or something you've experienced, and then you just are passing that on to someone else because you don't know how else to process it or forget about it. And it can be this whole thing, and I'm not trying to speak for everybody because it's different in every case, but this is just like a general sense of what it is. Okay, so all of this technically does go for friendship, so I guess it's like all like a mixed thing with each other. So now I'm going to share like a story time with me so I can explain it better. So I've had a lot of toxic friendships, and I'm not going to say this was one specific one because it's going to be really obvious which one it is, so I'm just going to talk about like a general sense of like every toxic friendship I've been in and just generalize it. So I've been in a ton, and I think the main things that I didn't realize was just like, I thought it was okay for them to yell at me or treat me badly or not get me to hang out with other people or make me feel bad for things. I feel like when you're doing things like that and you're in that kind of situation, it can be kind of hard to like detect the signs. And even like, say I was to go like look it up on my computer, like sometimes it's really hard to like let yourself like realize that you are in a toxic relationship or friendship, and it's really hard sometimes because you love that person or you care about that person really deeply, so you don't want to think that they've done something or that they're intentionally trying to hurt you or they're taking advantage of something, because they know that it's a vulnerability of yours. So I feel like I've said it a lot, and I feel like I'm talking really fast, so if I'm talking really fast, I'm sorry. I'll try to slow down a little bit. So when I was in a toxic relationship, well, it was like a friendship, I felt really, it was a really good, okay, so now I'm gonna like put it more into like one specific friendship that I've had, and I'm not gonna like say one because it's just not, that's not like necessary, but I felt as if I was being suffocated, and I felt like I couldn't really have other friends, or else I would, even if it wasn't like a huge sign like, oh, you can't have friends, oh, you can't be friends with this person, it was just like, it was this feeling like I was being like internally like, yeah, you can't be friends with that person, like, you know, you're only friends with me. And it doesn't have to be like you can't be friends with someone, like I said. It can also be like little signs, like hinting towards they don't want you to be friends with someone, which isn't okay, because you should be able to make new friendships and relationships with anybody you want to. And sometimes, like, I feel like in some cases it can be hard to balance relationships and friendships, because you want to spend time with like your best friend, but you also want to spend time with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever. And sometimes it can be hard to like equal out the time, because we're all busy people, like we're all humans and we all make mistakes, and none of us are perfect in any way. So I get that, because I've had hard times like balancing my friendships with my relationship, and I feel like I still have a hard time with that. But it all comes like down to like really looking at like what you have to do, and then like trying to make time for this person, and it's really hard. I understand that, like I do, but it's really important too if you want to keep those friendships and relationships healthy. So just keep that in mind. But I feel like another big thing that would happen to me was I would constantly get yelled at for just like tiny things, and it would just make me feel like really bad about myself. And like, say I wasn't like really necessarily like trying on something, but I felt like I was, but it wasn't like showing up as I was, like I would even try to explain that I was trying my hardest, and sometimes I would just get yelled at, or like I would just have like this feeling like that they were trying to make me feel bad because I didn't understand something, or I just wasn't like, it didn't look like I was understanding it, or it didn't look like I was putting an effort into it. So it looked like I was just like going with the flow and just like being like, fuck that, I really don't want to do this, like I'm just gonna pretend that I care and all that. But it's really like hard. So I guess what I'm trying to say is any toxic relationship, anything toxic is not okay. And if you feel like you're in a toxic relationship, if you feel like you're in a toxic friendship, try to speak up for yourself, because it's going to happen again to another person, because you don't, sorry, my heater just turned on. If you feel comfortable speaking up to that person and saying, hey, you're doing this, and it's really affecting me, and I really don't like how you're doing this, like that's really good, but it's really hard to do that, and I understand that, like I still can't do that, and sometimes they don't take responsibility, which is in one of my cases. So just try to be patient, but don't let yourself get hurt like that. Don't let yourself be in a negative situation like that, because it's not healthy for you, and you shouldn't have to go through that. And you could find someone so much better that treats you so much better and lets you have friends and lets you experience life in so many different ways and does it with you, alongside you, and lets you have space when you need it and lets you have breaks when you need it, and doesn't constantly like have to be texting you like every second of the day. Like they can let you breathe, because sometimes when you are in a toxic relationship, like in my case, I felt suffocated. I felt like I was just like, I couldn't breathe, and it's sometimes hard, and it gives you trust issues, honestly. Like, what if my next friend is like this, or what if like I'm like that now, like what if it was me all along? Like it's really hard, and I just feel like it's something that definitely needs to be addressed, and we all need to like look at ourselves and reflect and see like, hey, am I like this? Because sometimes, like I said, it's not really what you're doing intentionally. Like you might not realize it, or you might kind of realize it, and you might question yourself, because if you're questioning yourself, like you really might want to question yourself, but at the same time don't, because that sounded a little bad. But like if you feel like you're being like, if you feel like you're showing like signs of like being toxic to somebody else, you should really just like reflect and see like, hey, am I doing this? Because it's really hard for somebody else to get put through that, and in my case, it was really hard, and I'm really glad I'm out of every single toxic relationship and friendship, but it's also taught me a lot. So definitely keep in mind that we are all humans and we all make mistakes, but this isn't like a thing that should be happening, and you shouldn't ever have to go through that. So I just wanted to have like a quick story time and have like a quick thing, and I was supposed to do a vlog today, but I already did a vlog yesterday, so I thought that would be kind of like too much and like the same 2 days in a row. So I just thought, hey, what about like a story time / advice segment thing? But I will be posting a what I got for Christmas tomorrow, so I hope you guys will check that out. It's going to be pretty fun. I'm super excited to just even spend time with my family, and even if I like don't get like anything, I really don't care. I just want to see my family and see my boyfriend and just have a fun time and I don't know, I'm just really excited. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video tomorrow, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoy the next upcoming videos that I have in store for you guys, because I'm really excited and I really hope you guys like them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this or in the future of like what I have in store, please subscribe and turn on the notifications. Bye!